You ever plan something to perfection for the plan to turn around and hit you on Murphy's Law? Well, that's what happened to me when I went to Honduras. The plan was simple. Leave 4 a.m. to catch a 10 p.m. flight. Yes, I know it's sounding like overkill. But if it's one thing mission teach me, is that never underestimate the unpredictability of travel plans. If you ever travel, if you know, you know. 3 buses, that's all it takes. 3 steps to take me from the mission to the airport. That way, my friend Yuri will have time to return all the way back to the mission safely and in daylight. That's a smart thing to do, right? You prepare for in case anything go wrong. So on the second leg of the trip, the second bus, everything was going cool until something went wrong. I start to hear a clicker-clacker, a clicker-clacker. More like a banger, 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 if we're being serious. Next thing, the bus started to slow down like a thing, like one today, one tomorrow, one today, one tomorrow. And then you hear bang, 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 bang. Like, and then all of a sudden, you just start to feel heat from the floor of the bus keep coming up. And it was hot. It was actually burning through my shoes. And it was just sweating, sweating, sweating. So that tell me that something was going wrong with this bus. Let me don't forget, the rubber was smelling high. It did remind me of this old Land Rover my ex-husband used to have. It's just so it used to behave when the transmission was going bad or wherever it is. Just so it used to behave. So that's for sure. Just like our marriage did, that bus was gonna be dead. So I lean over to my friend Yuri and I say, watch me. Something wrong with this bus. Something gonna happen just now. Lo and behold, about 2 hours after dragging myself to the rest stop, when we come out the bus, the driver of the bus will tell me in Spanish that the bus not working right. And then would say a next bus coming, but he ain't sure when. Now remember, all of this happening in Spanish, right? And we are English speakers. But just by you look at the faces of the other people, I just know that what I mean in Trini parlance is make your way how you could. Because our bus could come, it couldn't come. But we had a flight to catch. Listen to me, every bus that pull up after that was madness. People pushing and shoving to try and get in the bus. Now the thing is, right? The rest stop was in the middle of nowhere. There were several different buses passing through from different companies going to different destinations. So now, every time a bus stopped, which was already full to capacity with people, a whole bunch of people rushing to each bus trying to find out where the bus going, if they could get on, and of course, nobody didn't want to pay for the rest of the journey because they had paid for the whole bus before. So it was madness all around, just madness. Now, my poor friend was like, what is this craziness? But I from Trinidad, I understand that language. Well, after a few hours, we finally get onto a bus. Listen, we squeezed into that bus. We were standing up, leaning over, so on people cheer, music playing, cheering, crying, animals making noise. It was hot, it was sweaty, it didn't have no AC. So it was drama. So that is we in that bus right through. But we just glad. We just glad that we finally get on a bus and we on our way to go. When we finally reach to our destination is after 7. That means the last bus to the airport gone. So the whole day we spend traveling a 5-hour trip. It's 7 o'clock, right? We leave 4 a.m. It's now 7 o'clock. And the last bus to the airport gone and the last bus to go back to the town for my friend to reach to the mission gone too. So we stranded, we hungry, we tired, we overstimulated, and we have to try and figure out a way how to get me to the airport and my friend somewhere to sleep for the night. So my friend now, when the reality hit what really going on, my friend started to cry, yes. And I myself was real tired because I was like, what is this madness? But then a thought came to my mind. I said, here's what. Contact the mission. Now we phone's almost dying, right? And it didn't have no outlet close by. But I tell my friend, I say, here's what. Call the mission, not call, text the mission, and find out if it have anybody who living close in this area who they know who could put you up for the night. And my friend was a little hesitant because the mission was already short staffed. And sometimes it is getting a little a how now when people don't show up for work, even though we plan, they doesn't like people missing work and they just really treat you bad if you miss work. So she was kind of hesitant. But I was like, listen, we plan, things didn't go out according to how we plan. Those studied, contact them. So she contacted them, and after some to in and fro in, finally, we were able to get somebody who was willing to take her in for the night. Well, good for her. But then I still had to get to the airport, and that is when we remember Rodrigo. Rodrigo was the taxi driver we had met when I had come to Honduras about a month ago. So we called Rodrigo, and Rodrigo was like, hey, he remembered us, and we were so happy. And the funny thing was, right, when I first met Rodrigo, when I told him I was from Trinidad, the first thing he was like, Russell Latipi, Brian Lara, and Dwight York. He well know all about us. Shortly after we got in contact with Rodrigo, the lady who my friend Yuri was staying by, she came to pick her up. So my friend left. She didn't want to leave me because she was concerned that she was leaving me all by myself, with no way to contact anybody. And she wasn't sure if Rodrigo would have turned up. And I tell her, don't study it. You go ahead, relax yourself. I go work it out one way or the other. Anyway, Rodrigo showed up gleefully. He was so happy. I don't think, but I was happier to see him than he probably was happier to see me. So he showed up and he carried me to the airport, and everything ran smoothly. I was so grateful to him. I paid him and everything worked out fine. So when I reach the airport now, I find an outlet, I connect my phone, then I text my friend Yuri and I say, listen, I reached the airport, everything fine, everything going smoothly. She was still upset, but thankfully the person she was staying by had a little doggy, so she was happy because she had a little doggy to play with, and you know how they are with doggies. So I start to fix myself or sort of myself to go in the line because it was Spirit Airlines, so I was fine with Spirit Airlines, yes. And I stand up in the line, getting ready to go on my flight, right? Now, by this time, it was like after 9. Anyway, so by this time, I getting myself ready to catch my Spirit Airlines flight back to the US because I was getting a connecting flight to come back to Trinidad. So I get myself, I go on in line, make sure my luggage not overweight and everything, waiting to get my boarding pass to go and catch my flight. While we standing up in the line now, this is like, the flight was like around 10:30, it was around 9. While we standing up in the line, all you hear come over the loudspeaker is that the flight canceled because of a storm in Miami. What? Stay around to hear part 2 next week. So have you ever had a travel disaster like this? Tell your stories in the comments below. Remember to like, follow, and share for more stories like this.